Hi, so for today's advice message video, is about making battle scenes only one-sided and about plots where the villains aren't allowed to fight back. If you differ to ask, I did make a couple of changes, but this is represented as a flat 2D shirt and pants avatar I made for myself. Sometimes I will use this look, but aside that, let's get to the point about one-sided fights. Well, this is the topic we are talking about. Going back 3 years ago where this unnecessary plot was used so long in Go animate videos. These are another one of those cringeworthy villain v.s hero videos. Here's the reasons why those plots are not good and why it's not representing the good and evil the right way. Number 1. You can't make a battle where only the heroes fight. It makes no sense and will make the storyline go off limits and turn out to be bad. In all cartoons and movies, if there was going to be a fight between the bad guy and the good guy, obviously they wouldn't choose to only have one side of a side fight. Do you remember what was created 3 years ago? Yes, I'm talking about the revenge act Sage and his friends did to Tripp and his gang. Oh man, we are talking about the time where behavior didn't make sense and that's supposed to be portrayed as being rewarded for something. No, those videos at all didn't make any sense. And that also gave bad influences to people. Plus, that is not a battle or a fight. That is almost like giving somebody a punishment day. When a battle is one-sided, that's just assaulting someone, not a fight. If Tripp and his gang couldn't fight back, the appropriate word to use is more of attacked. Even in the Sage's revenge videos were even more worst. But to be truthful, he was never in the sense to actually assault Tripp and his gang far like that. But his dad forced him. Just what type of parenting do you call that? If someone told you to go get revenge on somebody that harassed you or someone in your family, don't even listen or agree with them. They are trying to get you into big trouble. The parents didn't even give a knuckle after Tripp and his gang got assaulted. They let them rot with that injury. Okay. Now that's just child abuse. It's never okay to let a child just live along with injuries and not get it checked out. You would have a hard time enjoying your life. If you either were sick, got injured, and you never get it checked out, that can be harder for you to continue on with your life. Tripp could barely even move when he was walking or running up to his room. Reminds me of that one video in Weather Star 4000's channel where a Mario anime drank bleach and the parents didn't get him to a hospital. So that means he's just dead because he didn't go see a doctor. Here were the worst scenes in Sage's Revenge. The sequel, what that proved there, showed how psychos they were.
I will kill you up to the sight of a girlfriend. Oh no, Sage, please. Oh my god, oh my fucking god, this is so fucking painful, motherfucker. Oh my god. Ouch. That is so painful. Somebody help me.
I'm sorry, but are you for freaking real? That is not what even was. That is not good. That's just terrible. So this is how revenge goes? I wouldn't think so. What Sage and Abigail did was pure insane and considered criminal and felony. You can't beat up somebody with a bat including with spikes to give them payback. That's dangerous. You only should use a bat to get rid of insects and pests out of your house. And mainly use it for baseball, not to fricking beat someone up with it. That pain Simona felt was pretty brutal. She would have been killed if they went on, including the part where Abigail shot Deacon on the fricking leg. You know, what Sage and his friends did were actually crimes, assault, and gunning down someone. That's why the second revenge video was worst. They were criminals themselves. What those actions they did reminds me of those situations with Gregory and Donald. 5 people decided to go in the wrong directions on their hands. Those 3 girls decided to kill off Gregory because they thought it was gonna solve the entire nightmare with the criminal just getting killed. Killing someone is never good, no matter who it is. Even if it's a criminal, if you kill somebody, you go to go. Only unless if it was a person who's too dangerous to still be around. But they would just execute them. Not gun them down like that. Guns were not invented to shoot people. It is only for self-defense. Donald's parents and those 3 girls caused a bunch of problems for the wrong reasons. Both of those criminals could have been sent to jail or a maximum security prison where no one escapes. The only time a criminal will get killed or destroyed if it's necessary for them to do so. The troublemaker and the family can be too dangerous to still be around. It isn't safe anywhere near that extreme criminal. Sometimes not even a jail sentence would stop them. They might escape again and come after people. But Tripp and his friends were never like that. They were doing those bad actions because of what people do to them. Get the revenge on them for what? The parents and police can deal with the situation. What was also screwed and messed up? The principal took part of in revenge act as well. Are you kidding me? Principals and teachers are never allowed to assault their students even if they misbehave. They go to prison for that. That's why that principal was fired. He literally allowed them to have Tripp and his gang suffer. That's never okay. Not ever. Some students act childish and have bad behavior. You won't know the full reason why until you just allow them to tell you why. Can be because of mental issues, bad childhoods, stuff like that hits people's minds, so they don't mean to act like this on purpose. Now, I'm going to explain about the one-sided beatings in For Hire series, but mostly when Dan Hamming was the leader but influenced people in wrong directions. He only wanted the wanted employees, mostly devious Diesel, to suffer in pain. Those actions from mid-2019, 2020, and even 2021, was way more worse. What everyone in those videos, including some of the troublemakers' parents, did were not any better at all, because they were doing something illegal, which was assault. That's exactly why they continued to go after people, because of people assaulting them and getting them injured. It is in a way those wanted employees can't be trusted. But those plots were just nonsense, just freaking nonsense, but we decided to keep them just for memories and for other outsiders to watch, to anyone who has never heard of these For Hire series like General Guy for Hire, etc. Some of these people on YouTube were kind of correct when they mentioned it kind of ruined was For Hire series used to be. Some said they used to have a story and a good plot. It was entertaining and funny and very cartoonish, and everyone enjoyed it back then. People had enjoyed those times. But around 2020 to 2021, it didn't. I'm sorry if I have to say this, including to my friends, but those plots were just bad. I know, again, we are deleting them. But that's another life like what Tripp and his friends had to dealt with. Only this time, millions of people were going after them. Some people got lost on that. Least now, the For Hire series have story and plots again. They are hardly any assaults since the wanted employees are on break on assaulting people. And now there's actually a plot and story for some now, and the battles actually have good and evil fighting. We know now not to make nonsense scrape like that again. And guess what? Now that we were given ideas for videos, more people might get into those For Hire videos again, now that they're not about assault and one-side fights. The true point is, don't make a battle where only good guys can fight. If there's a movie where only the good wins or the evil wins, then it wouldn't have a fair ending despite the good or the bad guys themselves were in the wrong as well. If there was an ending that doesn't make sense or make a complete curtain call, then it's not an ending that feels emotional or interesting to some people. For some other cases, there doesn't have to be a clear line between good and evil, but rather how they decide to change and grow. The heroes and villains might be, they can't be redeemable. The villain did bad actions, but so did the good guys. In some of these recent For Hire videos, sometimes the hero character loses. It is to prove that the heroes can't always win like that. They are going to lose in some battles. Most movies there will be a time where the hero character gets defeated in a fight. That's what movies should all look like, because that's how it tells a real story and the plot makes sense. Most movies, good and bad, sometimes have a bad ending, but it changes how people in those movies grow off from their mistakes, and after both the good and evil getting defeated, that is what makes a movie interesting. If there's a movie where only the good wins or the evil wins, then it wouldn't have a fair ending. Some older go-animate movies I remember in the past barely had some fight scenes. The way they stopped that villain was plotted incorrectly, and it didn't make sense. Here's another part one didn't catch. In some go-animate movies, the villain is grounded at the end. To me, I don't find that a big deal, but that's odd. What the hell about that? They're just gonna call